and it reached at a point where students were even not able to provide a meal and even have access to essential requirements like sanitary pads for girls. That was last year. Looking at this year, again we are in another lockdown. But how best can we live in it? Learning from the mistakes of the past and also being able to draft measures of how we can help these students. Of course, measures in the past, like the soliciting of funds to aid these students, the deportation of students to go home, and also the fact that recently students, especially like from Guru, confessed that they had reached at a point where they have one meal per day. What does this have to mean? Today on our program, we discuss the fate of university students who are stranded in hostels, but also those who have to be on a journey that almost all universities have set for us to continue with online studying. With me on the program today, I have a guest in studio, a man that is first of all a student, cabinet minister in the Bara University Students Guild, a man that has raised his voice to have the best of adaptation and measures to have this combated. Honorable Mubiru Bernard, thank you very much for honoring our invitation. You can greet the viewers.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sam. Once again, as he has introduced me, my name is Mubiru Bernard, a student at Bara University of Science and Technology, at the same time serving as the Guild Minister for Social Affairs. I'm privileged to be here with you, sharing our ideas about the stranded students within the universities, within their hostels. We are grateful that we are going to share our ideas, and then we see how we can help our fellow students. Before I go any further, I would like to thank the Almighty God who has blessed us to this far. I know we are in a very difficult situation where very many people are dying, very many of our friends, very many of our relatives have passed away. But we thank Him for the far He has brought us so that we are still alive. I will continue to encourage you to stay safe from this deadly disease, the COVID-19. Thank you very much.
Yes, Honorable Bernard is the Minister for Social Affairs, so he's one of the most relevant people to discuss this very topic. So, there are measures already in place. The government is trying to have money in place to be able to move things here and there.
Yes.
The government has come out with a 54 billion package to be able to assist those who are vulnerable.
Yes.
So we want to ask, should the government also worry about university students? Where, if so, where is the Ministry of Education and Sports? Recently, the State Minister for Finance, Honorable Henry Musasi, came out to say that the government was allocated 600 billion to be able to run activities of those that should be essential. Also, Uganda has received a loan from IMF, 1 million. So students also happen to pay their money, which is, I believe, is on the university accounts. So how best can the government, alongside, of course, all the stakeholders in this, be able to come out with a plan that can assist these students, first of all, for survival, to facilitate their daily survival, and also be able to provide suitable packages for them to be able to catch up with online studying? How best can we have everyone on board? It is clear and very uncertain that very many series of waves of COVID-19, and also variants are here. How best can we have the government help us, because COVID seems not to be about to go away? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sam, for that wonderful question. For me, I believe that the government should cater for all its population, for the entire population that is having in this country. As far as education is concerned, in the first lockdown, students from nursery level up to I think like senior 5 were catered for. We are being provided with education materials in form of self-studies. But when it comes to university, students are always left out. Currently, we are having students who are still within their hostels, are being stranded there, and then they are struggling on how to live, on how to meet their basic needs. On this note, we would like to request the government through our different stakeholders to cater, to also put us on the list of people who are supposed to be catered for with any assistance that it can. It may be in form of data, in the form of money, as like right now what is going on for the COVID relief fund. We believe that even the university students can be put onto this list so that they can get something from it.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Bennett. So now, in the event that already the government is already putting up plans and has already categorized those to have the relief package, and provided that the government might not be able or realize that it is late for students to be included, which other ways can we have for the government to also aid and provide for special assistance to these students, especially to do with completion of their studies? As I'd already said, there are very many series of variants and also waves. Some countries are already in the third, or those waves. So how best can we provide a lasting solution to these students, at least to have them finish their studies?
Thank you very much. For me, I think that the government should plan for this, should sit down with the concerned stakeholders such as the Minister of Education, Minister of Finance, and then institution owners or institution administrators to find a way, because I believe COVID is here to stay for some time.
Yes.
And we need to adapt to it. Right now, we are not always, because we hear that there's going to be also a wave. As Uganda. So it's high time that the government, if at all it cannot provide everything to us, there are what we call partnerships. Government should partner with different individuals, different companies, so that they can assist the students. We saw in the first lockdown, whereby the government called for support from the population, and really people turned up. Very many contributed billions and billions of money.
Yes.
Why not in the education system? Why not in higher education? We believe that if it partners with some stakeholders, especially the companies, they can do something, they can provide something to these students within higher education. Because higher education is one of the most critical areas in the education sector, because that's where someone is leaving the education sector and is joining the real world of the job market, everything. So we need more attention in this sector, and it is my request that I'm requesting government to consider these students in one way or another in
Yes.
various sections. It can be maybe reducing tuition or functional fees, so that these students, even the parents right now, are struggling. Most of them, their businesses are closed. They don't work, yet they have to pay tuition, and on top of that, they have to provide data to their fellow children.
Yes.
I think the government can look into this as it has been doing in other sectors. For example, the NSSF, it amended the NSSF bills, whereby people can now access their money at an earlier age than how it was before.
Yes.
Why not in the education sector, like especially higher institution? Thank you very much.
So basically, situations are changing, but how best do we also change with them? As the topic gets hotter, everyone who is watching live, we are live on Facebook, we are live on YouTube in high definition, and we request you to share those links to other friends of yours to also tune in and be able to share their minds. You can also comment on this, share with us your mind on this very topic in the comment section below. For those who are following, please let us be able to know your mind on this. What should the government do? How best can we have online studying continue amidst observation of what is required of us in terms of maintaining health and also being alive? So, before we can go for a short break, I would like to know, of course, we need to also look at the other side of the coin. Among the sectors that were closed is the education sector. Of course, universities and other institutions are closed. That means that it is hard for the ministry to come in and assist us because provided that the institutions are closed. So how can we be able to operate when these institutions are either closed or they are partially opened? We have clinical students who, of course, need practical sessions, just like others. How best can we have them proceed with their education? Can we have shifts? Can we decide to have, those measures? So how best can we, also looking at the government side, be able to help these students?
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. For a case of students who are doing practical courses, and even those ones who are not doing practical courses, but there are some course units that require us to be at campus. Every time you need to access something, in short, they are practical.
Yes.
I would suggest that the government, and together with the institution, the administrators of the universities, be it public or private, they should sit down and discuss a way forward on how to bring back these students after some period of time. Because right now I cannot encourage any student to go back to campus. That's the truth. COVID is spreading at a high speed. What the government need to do is to lay a strategy or a program that maybe students who are doing this course can come back to, like how it did in the previous lockdown. They can come back, continue with their studies, and then after that, when they leave, other students can also come in. Because there is no any way you can tell me that you can study maybe anatomy. Let me say, I'm not in the medical field, but you can study anatomy on Zoom. In our faculty, in my course that I'm doing, we have a course called Geographical Information System.
Yes.
Whereby everything that you do, you have to be on a computer. You have to be with your supervisor there and then. So how are we going to do it when you're on Zoom? So I think right now the government needs to find out how it can help these students, but bringing them back on board so that they can continue with their studies practically, but after some period of time, not now.
Yes, talking about how they can do that, could you please share with us like a plan? What should be done? Should we have shifts? Should the institutions call, maybe for example, students with practical sessions, or should they have a plan of saying maybe first years attend this very week, maybe second years that other week? Which program do you feel? Because I know stakeholders in this are listening to AUTV and they would like to know how best you feel they can do this.
Thank you. For me, the best solution or the best suggestion that I can give out, for example, I can use MAST, Barrow University of Science and Technology, as an example. We have 6 faculties and they have a very big space. within our university. I would start by calling up the Faculty of Medicine to come back, because we need them. Right now, the government of Uganda is struggling to recruit more doctors.
Yes.
Yet, right now, we had doctors who are in their final years, students who are in their final years, remaining with only 2 months to complete. For me, I would suggest that they start with the Faculty of Medicine. The Faculty of Medicine comes back. They utilize the entire space that we have within the university. Maybe like after a certain period of time, because we are remaining with like 4 weeks to complete the semester. After that period, other faculties will come in shifts.
Yes.
And then also, because for me, most of the times I attend lectures, I attend everything, but I also depend on YouTube. On YouTube, there are very many practical lessons, practical videos. I would propose that even these universities, together, the lecturers, the university lecturers, they can upload some of these practical materials on YouTube.
Yes.
But I've never seen it in any Ugandan university. We always follow maybe those videos from Harvard, what and what. Why not in Uganda? I think we can do something. We can be more practical when we are using online studies. Thank
Yes.
you. So those are my suggestions.
Oh yes. So then, a last one before we can dive into the break. I would like to know, now, provided that, of course, those are medical students, but also we need to have these other universities. For example, actually, almost all students need practical sessions at some point. That aside, how can our learning management systems be able to be customized to suit students to have at least efficient access to learning material? For example, can we have these recorded lectures uploaded on our LMS, of which the institutions come in and are able, basing on the registry they have of the students, to at least have a solution and a free access by the students to this learning management system, so that somebody who is maybe deep in the village is able to decide and say, since I am missing out on this lecture, at least at some point in the night when maybe there's some network, or when I have the time, I am able to log into my LMS and be able to keep track of what others might have covered. What do you think of that?
My opinion is that the government, it starts with the government of Uganda. It should invest more in technology. And investing in technology doesn't mean that you buy the equipment, what and what.
Yes.
You invest in the technology by buying equipment and then educate the people who are going to be using that technology.
Yes.
Right now, I can give an example. Different universities have different systems that they are using, like to engage with their students. For example, Makerere has a system called Mwere. For us at Must we have LMS.
Yes.
I've ever used Mwere system because one time we had online studies, we had online courses that we are doing in Makerere University, and I think it is one of the best online platforms that we can ever have in Uganda. Then I think we can adopt this, we can copy this into other universities. Then the government can facilitate other universities also to come up with such systems. Because on their Mwele, they put their recorded lectures,
Yes.
Videos and notes, everything, and it is easy to access. But when you come back to other universities, which I may not mention, their systems are very poor, whereby students cannot be able to access them. And then on top of that, it's not because that they don't have gadgets, they don't have like such as phones, laptops, but they don't know how to use them. So it's the role of the government to educate these students on how to access these students. Because when students are back, for example, within the university, the government can roll out a program or even when they are still in their places where they are, the villages, what and what, the government can roll out a program. We have newspapers. It can publish within those newspapers on how to use certain services so that everyone can be online or can be on the same pace.
Thank you very much, Honorable Bernard. So that everyone is able to be on the same pace. How can we have everyone on this same pace? We would like to invite you to also share your mind based on what you will have submitted in the comment section below. Please let us know of what you think of this. What has not been shared here, or how best do you feel we can change and have everyone, but still considering the fact that we need to keep healthy, we need to continue observing SOPs, we need to continue staying alive, because all this that we are saying cannot be done or achieved if we are not alive.
Indeed.
We are going into a short commercial break. After the short commercial break, we shall be discussing more and trying to read out what your opinion on this is and what we expect the other stakeholders can add to this table of discussion. Thank you very much.
So a few days ago, you'd join the crowds in the market for your fresh foods. You'd equally brave the exposing yourself to the virus.
Cut the hustle. If you're in Barara, all your fresh foods can now find you on your doorstep. Download a Let's Farm Shop app from Play Store to order now.
Red Star Wine, the taste that lasts.
Red Star Wine nekorerwa hano mu Uganda. Kandi bwa hati okurugaho naho ori nobasa kugigura ori kurabira haduka y'ubwoko bwa internet eri kuguza ebyo byonka ebiri kukorerwa hano mu Uganda ya www.guzaug.com.
Do you have Uganda at heart? How about buying products made in Uganda by Ugandans from a Ugandan online shop anywhere, anytime?
Introducing guzaug.com, a one-stop center for Uganda's locally made products. Buy Uganda, build Uganda.
I am Ugandan.
Hello there, I'm Sam.
Welcome everyone watching us live. Thank you very much for watching and also for sharing. The feedback is coming, and as you continue to share with us your opinions, I would like to have the parting shots on this whole topic from Honorable Bernard to finally give us what he thinks the education ministry and the officials that are listening to us, where is its role in all this? The sounding sectors seem to be Ministry of Health and others. Those, of course, without any doubt should be. But how best can the Ministry of Education be awakened to the call that, hey, we need to continue studying because we cannot afford to waste time and all this precious time that has elapsed? And how best can they also be awakened to be able to provide a lasting solution? Because trust me, believe me, as I had said, COVID is here for some good time. other waves are coming, but we cannot afford, amidst the death of medical workers. They are suffering. They need enough manpower from other students, and we have maybe students in their fourth year, medical students, or even other students in their final years, and they are not able to come to their rescue. What do you think the ministry should do as a lasting solution to all this?
Thank you very much. On that issue, I think the Minister of Education and Sports, because it represents the government, they should also look for other alternatives, other measures, though they require some amount of money,
Yes.
big amount of money, but they should look into them and then see how they can implement them. As I had said previously, through partnerships, everything can be possible. Right now, at university level, I think we have like students who are less than even 1 million, okay, higher education level, higher institutions of learning. I think the government, we have seen this in the Parliament of Uganda. MPs are being given iPads. On top of that, they get cars. Like after 5 years, I heard that this time around they are going to be given 300 millions. Why can't the government, through the Minister of Education and other stakeholders or like partners, try to help these students, maybe by giving them like devices, maybe phones or data? If at all they cannot buy for them, they can provide loans like to these devices. We have companies that are selling phones on loans. Even the government, I think, can buy that idea and then enable these students. Because trust me, right now, we have very many students who are deep in our villages there. They are suffering. We started online lectures on Monday, we at Mbara University, but half of my course members are attending, where others, they are having issues. On top of that, like giving out devices maybe on loans if they cannot be bought permanently. The government also, through the Minister of Education, should increase on the internet bandwidth within Uganda, so that it can cover each and every part. Right now we have students who are in Kanungu, Chihihi. They cannot access, they have network issues with
Yes.
with online lectures. How can they be helped? They cannot increase the bandwidth themselves. What the government should do is to increase the bandwidth by extending the, maybe, what should I say, internet, I don't know. You are the one who does IT.
So now, talking about that, Nabanja's money is expected anytime from now, and provided that it is based on the fact that the LCs or those in charge, the local leaders, are able to support those who are in disadvantaged positions or vulnerable positions, do you think it is high time that these students can be supported? That every student who is still maybe around campus, I can give an example of Tasso Village, those people in Chikeni, and can they be included in the list now that, as we speak, the lists have not yet been finalized? Do you think they should be added like to those lists, so that by the time they are sending, at least they have something to their aid?
Yes, it can be done, but this one will depend on the lobbying powers or the lobbying efforts of different governments of these institutions, like through their guild leaders. For example, in Makere, last time in the first lockdown, even in Chambogo, we saw the guild leaders, the Prime Minister and the guild president. We are requesting the Prime Minister to aid these students who are still stranded in their hostels right now, or like in that period. I think even right now it is possible. As I said, it depends on the lobbying powers. How do you lobby into this? So how can you lobby so that you can tap into this system? Right now, we as Master Guild, we are trying to find ways of how we can get information about these students who are still in hostels, and I believe even other institutions, they are doing the same. And then right tomorrow we are planning to go to the RDC so that can get clear information on how you can get access into these funds. Even if we get we get like 100 students, which I believe they are not more than that, we can see how you can help them with the relief from the Prime Minister's office. For me, I believe that it is possible. It is very possible, but it depends on us, like the efforts that we are putting in. And then on top of that, we don't need to depend always on maybe things from government. Always, we have other people around us, like the guild. Okay, we may not be in position to provide money to these students or to provide food to these students, but we can lobby for them. We can lobby. We have very many rich people around in Mbara. Leave alone the rich people. We have our MPs. What's the importance of the youth MPs? The youth MP of Western Uganda, the youth MP of Central Region. We are youths, and then we are under his area.
Yes.
His or her area. So we need assistance. We may need assistance from them. We are not forcing them, but we can lobby from them. The constituency MPs, they can do something for us because we are in their constituency. I think each and every university or institution has a constituency MP. They can do something for us. For example, for me, I had a plan that for these students who are stranded right now, they don't have food. On top of that, online lectures have started, and then they need to buy data. So how can we help them? For me, I was like, if we can lobby from these people, and we get something that maybe like 5 millions. 5 millions can do something for these students. Even if we are to say that we are going to provide 2 gigabytes of data to each and every student, and then we are considering like 1,000 or 500 students. That is something like 4 millions, and can do something, and then we can help them.
Yes. So, thank you very much, Bernard. But I expect somebody out there to be waiting for us to touch one of the very core issues that, of course, pertain to all this. Students pay their money. That money goes to their accounts. In case now that money cannot be used, provided that we open the schools, what should be done? What should we expect, at least for these institutions, to be able to at least aid, especially to do with the tuition that students should pay? Because last time from lockdown, we were told we were only given a grace period, but we are again expected to pay the full amount, which most of us believe was not used. So what is your call to the government pertaining to that? Should they maintain the fees policy? It is also bureaucratic for the fees policy to come down. But what do you think the government should help us regarding the fees policy?
Thank you very much. On that matter, we have 2 types of institutions. We have government institutions, and then we have private institutions. On the private sector, some universities have already started giving out aid to students. For example, let me not mention the universities. But then when it comes on the government sector, I also had that campaign. But then I was told that is a bureaucratic process that we can go, that if we are going to go about it. But for me, I believe that even if it is bureaucratic, with time we can achieve something.
Yes.
So for me, I advocate for this move that the government should reduce on the tuition and then functional fees being paid by students within public universities. Because right now the private sector is handling that issue. They are trying to see how they can help these students. Then why not those ones in government institutions?
Yes.
Yet everyone, like the parents, take their students to government institutions thinking that they are going to pay less money. Yes, we are paying less money. But in this difficult situation, how has the government helped us? I think it can help us through considering these issues whereby we are paying functional fees. You don't use the library, you don't use the Wi-Fi. So those functional fees are for what?
Yes.
When you're at home.
Thank you very much, Honorable Bernard. We expect the government to, of course, come to our aid, especially to do with how online has to continue, and also the assistance to the stranded students in hostels. They need to survive, they need to proceed with their education. And we front the fact that at least all the learning material should be uploaded and easily accessed as and when required by any student. So, Honorable Bernard, I would like to have your final word. What do you have to say as the final, and everyone that is watching us, and also the government or any other stakeholders? Thank you.
Thank you very much. As I said when we were beginning, first of all, we need to protect ourselves from COVID-19 because it is real.
Yes.
Another thing, to my fellow student leaders, we need to come up and care for our fellow students, for our electorates who put us into power. Right now they are suffering. We need to be with them. We may not be able to provide physical assistance, but we can show something. We can show them something that we are caring about them.
Yes.
To the government, I have mentioned some of the initiatives that should be taken.
Yes.
Reduce tuition functional fees within public institutions, and then enhance or improve in the technology department.
Yes.
Through like investing in the, like giving out funds
And lobbying
to what various students.
Yes.
Also to that's bad.
So now, for those who are sending us your feedback, we have Nwagaba Ronald, who is of course thanking us for talking about this and telling us that he's watching live. Thank you very much, Ronald. We have Itaji Devin. He says thank you very much. Let the functional fees be in alignment with their tuition. Thank you very much. You can keep them coming in. We always have this show. Please make sure that you catch us live on every Sunday at amidst TV, a station that is here to empower you with all the technology. Stay blessed. Thank you very much for watching.